Yeah, we have a Facebook live streaming, so there's people listening on the Facebook part and people on the Zoom part. So thanks for your patience, guys.
Okay, you're good to go.
All right, Andy, let's start with you.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, I want to first say thank you, Jacinda. It was a pleasure to meet with you and talk with you the other day. Sorry about my accent. I mean, we've already talked about that. You know, we're down here in the South Bible Belt, so this is what you get. But I also invited a very good friend, Tim Barlow, who's on this call with us. Tim is the guy that really, my story is I'm a 61-year-old, very happily married man. I've got 3 wonderful kids that are fully grown, and just my life, I've been in sales my whole life. I was a banker for a few years, and I shared this story with Jacinda the other day, and I had a really good friend, Tim Barlow, who's, again, I mentioned, who's on the call. Tim, his mother lives a couple of doors down from me, and his father was a very good friend of mine, and we just been close for many years. And Tim lost 130 pounds in 10 months, and it was amazing. And so I kind of, I wasn't skeptical of Tim at all, but, you know, I've seen all these, you know, people lose weight and, you know, months later they gain it back. But with Tim, he was keeping it off, and I just called him up and I said, man, all right, I got to know what you're doing. He had been to some other places, and I kept seeing him, and I was like, man, I got to know what you're doing. And I walked over there. I met him at his mother's house, and I said, I want to do it. Let's just do it. I don't, you know, I need to lose 50 pounds, because I was, you know, as far as my personal, you know, as far as my emotions or, you know, kind of my joy and all that, I was pretty good shape. I was more or less just wanting to lose weight. So I joined the plan, and he put me on the 5 and 1, and quite frankly, that was back in February. And then I went 8 days, and I had this tremendous crash. And so I said, man, I don't know if I can do this. You know, the great thing about this company is you have a mentorship. And so, you know, I did not do what I should have done, and that was to text my mentorship group and say, okay, here's what's going on. I thought, well, I like the program, but I'm going to eat my own food. I'm going to blend my stuff in, and then I'll feel better, and, you know, I can kind of do it my way. And so in 2 weeks, I had lost 15 pounds. And so all of that happened. I crashed. So I got back on my plan. So 3 weeks after that, I gained 8 pounds back, trying to do it my way and the Optavia way. And of course, Tim never said a word. He just went, he knew what was going on. He knew what was going on, and just left me alone. Well, so that was probably mid-March. Well, I gained the weight, and I just quit. And I still had the feelings, and I'd eat them occasionally and do, you know, kind of do my thing. Well, as time went on, the COVID has affected everybody. I've been in sales for 30 years, and my business fell off 80%, like a lot of people who have been hit hard. And so I just kind of had a pity party one night. It was April the 19th. And I sort of had a pity party and started feeling sorry for myself. And you know, my personal life, I am a Christian, and I am, you know, so I just began to pray about it. I just began to pray and ask the Lord, what do I do? And so seriously, he just clearly, and I shared this with Jacinda the other day. I said, I just clearly had this revealing of that. And he told me, he said, look, you can't do a thing about COVID. You can't do about my wife. She's had cancer. She had ovarian cancer. She had a brain tumor. She's been through all this really tough health stuff. And he said, you can't do anything about that. You can't do anything about the things that you can't control, but all you can do is what you can do and what I put you here to do. And it was just like us sitting here talking. So I had this tremendous, just joy. And that was April the 19th. That was a Sunday afternoon. The very next day I called Tim. I had to drive for 3.5 hours the next day. So I called Tim and I said, Tim, I'm ready to go back. I want to start, man. And I want to be a coach. I didn't know anything about coaching. I said, but I want to be a coach too, because I have the time. I have the time and I want to learn. And Tim was like, okay, man, whatever. And he said, you need to call Tamara. And Tamara is, she's our global director. And so Tamara got worn out with me for about an hour on the phone that day. And so, and by the way, I think Tamara's on here too. She joined the party too. But that's really how it started for me. So April the 20th, I started, and then in 8 days, guess what happened? The very same thing. I crashed. I had this tremendous crash. And instead of doing my plan, I texted my mentorship group and I said, here's what's going on. And one of the girls said, have you checked your blood pressure? I said, no. So I checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was 106/56. So I was crashing. So I called my doctor that day and I said, here's what I'm doing. I'm excited about it. I'm losing weight. I've lost weight. And here we go. He said, hold your blood pressure medicine. That was 4 weeks ago. I haven't been on blood pressure medicine in 4 weeks. So I knew then. Then I had a broken tooth. So I had to go through getting a tooth pulled. And then I had to have a stress test because it was time for my annual stress test. And I went through all that and my blood pressure stayed normal. So I knew that I was feeling so much better. And once I got that infection out of my body from this toothache, but anyway, the bottom line is I went through all this stuff. My blood pressure stayed normal, and I leaned on my team to help me get through this. And that's what's so critical about this program. The feelings, now it's been 8 weeks. I'm into my 8th week. I've lost 40 pounds. I'm down to 220 pounds today, and it's just getting better and better and better. And since I became a coach, I've been able to help about 19 people. I signed up my 20th person tonight, and I was 500 points from getting executive director, but I didn't get there, and that's okay, because that's not really what it's all about. It's about helping people get healthy. And so I'm fired up about it. Jacinda is my new friend, and it's like we've known each other forever since having our conversation yesterday. And so, for me, it's just, I'm very fortunate to have Tim Barlow and Cindy Hutchison, his sister, and Tamara Smith as my mentorship. And I'm learning. I still got a full-time job, and I can see myself, and I'm trusting and hoping that soon, I don't know when it'll be, but this will be a full-time gig, and I'm just really excited. So and that's my story right now, and we'll see what happens next. So here we go. And I'll be glad to answer any questions or any concerns or any way I can help anybody.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I know it's late. It's 2 hours later for you guys. I hope you can stay on to hear Carrie's story, and then we do open it up for questions. Um, but I understand it's 9 o'clock where you're at. If
No,
you guys,
actually, it's 8 o'clock. I was wrong. I thought it was 2 hours,
oh,
but it's only 1 hour. So we're in good shape. That's why you had to get me off, get me going, because I was doing something else and I was late to the meeting.
okay.
So,
So
so
thank you. And I hope you can stay. And because Carrie is going to share next, and she is about in her 10th or 11th week, I think. She's fairly new as well. And she's also considering, helping, paying this forward and helping other people as well. So maybe you can help her with that. You've grown so fast and you're helping so many people. And so Carrie, where are you? Are you ready to go, girl?
I guess so.
Yay!
Okay, so I wrote mine because I can't remember anything longer than a minute. So here we go. First, I'd like to thank you, Jacinda and Tonya, for having the trust in me to tell my story and to encourage me to grow courageously and live a limited life. Tonight, I was asked to share my personal story on how I arrived at Limitless. No, I didn't take the red trolley bus across Durango to get here, although getting to Limitless has been a true journey. People listening tonight might wonder, what is this Limitless? Limitless is a place of sharing. It is a place where people from all over this nation come together for one reason: to learn the habits of health. Every individual participant brings their own life story to the group, and we travel together in sharing trust, empathy, compassion, love, and laughter. We find friendship, support, commonalities, and connection. Limitless, as a part of Octavia, is not a diet program. Diet is everything we eat. Yes, there is a food fueling system, but the purpose is to transform lives from old habits and beliefs about health into new, lifelong habits of health that are holistic. In other words, we friends travel together toward the light of permanent health in body, mind, awareness, emotions, spirits, and relationship. Think, inner transformation changes the outer appearance of you. I do need to mention that speaking in front of adult humans is challenging my core being to want to run. Mostly, I would rather bungee jump off a bridge, ride in a raft on White Rod or Rapids, or spend the day riding roller coasters than speak to a group of adults. Did I mention I just retired from the teaching profession this past January? Yes, I can talk to children all day like Mr. Rogers. I can talk to myself like Albert Einstein. I can talk to the animals all day like Dr. Dolittle. But talking to a group of adults makes me cringe. It's like somebody's fingernails scratching the chalkboard in a classroom. Don't get the wrong idea though. There's nothing at this point in my life I will not do to overcome this tremendous fear and disappointment in me. I am letting go of old beliefs and habits that no longer grow or serve me at 65. Fear and disappointment in myself have led the charge in my often rebel-like life. I say charge because often I've been bullish in habits of my life. My personal definition of bullish is opinionated, reactive, headstrong, sensitive, and easily overstimulated. If I were a bull facing down the matador in a large arena, the red cape would represent charging through life, but often missing my goals and forgetting intentions. The matador represents standing your ground, rootedness, self-control, motivation, success, and reaching goals of health with confidence. Me as the bull have missed many wonderful opportunities because often in my life, I was living on their survival or fight or flight mode. Trauma, shame, self-sabotage, and resentment, procrastination, judgments, lack of self-love, comparison, and poor boundary setting are a few of the habits of mind and emotions that kept me missing out on success and dreams coming to fruition. There have been many mornings, I awakened, rolled out of bed, looked at myself in the bathroom mirror and said, how did I get here? It doesn't make sense. Yes, I'm a huge fan of the Talking Heads. Stop Making Sense is a favorite album. To my family of origin, I really didn't ever make sense. I might as well have been an alien from Mars because I feel I was seen by my parents as the wacky, weird, rebellious Carrie. Yes, I am the oldest, the only daughter of 3 kids. I was the challenged child. Well, I will say the challenged teen. Up until I turned 13, I was pretty perfect. I was what parents call compliant, courteous, considerate, seen, but not heard. Several events in my life changed my directional choices at age 13. First, I was raped by a 21-year-old, and this event brought up other memories of past sexual trauma. Second, I began to truly believe that I was a mistake. Why would God put me in a family that never talks about things like deep, soulful, transformative, important stuff? I began to feel alone, and in my loneliness, I withdrew into my music, songs, dance, and fantasy. By the age of 14, I was very good at entertaining myself. I was my own audience. Third, the world around me was changing. We were in turmoil. We were as a nation moving into a new era. It was the 1960s. Freedom, culture, and societal uprooting were happening and experiencing huge shifts in belief around the world, about the world around us. I became a hippie, or my version of a hippie, counterculture and all. Fourth, I began to question the status quo, and with zero parental guidance available, no real personal boundaries, and no communication available at home, I decided to experience everything. The saddest part of this is no one ever challenged me or my choices. I was left to make adult decisions about life with a child's brain. Thus started my journey into the world of the party girl. But I must add that I've always been deeply spiritual, and this belief in a higher power and the inherent goodness of God saved me from treading into addiction, homelessness, poverty, and possible suicide, from depression, anxiety, and detachment from self. But I got pretty close to this at times. As I grew older, I began to desire the trappings of normalcy, like college, marriage, church, home, career, and stability. So at 30, I married, mostly because that's what you do in America. Then at 36 and 38, I had 2 kids. Well, at 36, I had one, and 38, the other. Ironic, because up until I was 35, kids were like alien life forms to me. I could admire them from afar, but please don't engage me. Yuck. Anyway, and divorce happened in 1995, and I became a single parent. 25 years later, I can say with zero hesitation that my 2 children are my biggest blessings in my variable life. They love me, accept my uniqueness, weird humor, and 100% endorse me as their mom. My 28-year-old daughter, Catherine, and my 26-year-old son, Zach, challenge me, push me to live authentically, piss me off less and less as they mature, and I piss them off less and less as I mature, and are my true allies in life. Each is proud of me, and both express their gratitude often. Both have noticed my growth towards health and commend me for being their role model. I could not be more grateful and proud of each. Love you. They are on two different life journeys, but both thrive, challenge themselves to be better, and overall are healthy humans. So, how did I get here at Limited? My biggest goal at retirement was to start being healthy and live a healthy life. And so I sought out health. And of course, the COVID came along, and it sort of stopped me from doing a lot of the activities I wanted, like yoga and traveling and dance and a few other things. But ironically, I ran into Jacinda, and we talked, and actually our daughters went all through school together, so we had that connection. And she started telling me about Optavia, and I told her that I wasn't as concerned about the weight side as changing my inner self, and that the weight that I know, if I change my inner self and how I think about me, the weight will come off. And so My new question now is, where will I go from here? And the answer is, I want to experience a fully healthy, authentic, loving human life as a loving human being. I want my goals and dreams to manifest materially, not just lost in fantasy. I want to always feel content, even in pain and uncertainty. Joyful, even when unknowns surround me. Confident, even in all the newness in life. Competent, even when I'm afraid. Grateful, even when I'm lost and alone. Love, because what you give, you receive. Committed to friends, family, and justice and God. Kind, because I want to be treated kindly. Creative, the source of dreams coming true. Healthy, because health is a choice and it's my destination. Coaching, my next step to full transformation. Courage will help me step fully into life and coaching. And quiet, the source of all that is truth. Yes, this is a quote I decided I'd make. We were all born as blank canvases with a lighted background. It is up to each of us to paint our lives in the full spectrum of colors with creativity and intention. Tonight, I want to challenge you to choose. Habits of health equals new life, or old habits, same as it ever was. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie. That was awesome. Like, that was pretty much your whole life in 15 minutes. Way to go, girl.
It was part of it.
I love it. I love that you are considering coaching more and more. You already are a coach. You might as well go share the gift with everyone you know, girl.
You keep making me share, so I might as well do that.
I didn't make you. I gave you the choice.
Okay. I said yes.
If we could take everybody off of mute, Ronnie, and just in case anybody has any questions for these two, like I said, they're both pretty new clients, and Andy is a very new coach who is really, man, he's got a really good leadership with him, and he's just rocking and rolling. And Carrie is rocking and rolling in her personal growth life right now. So does anybody have any questions for these two? Somebody has to take everyone off of mute.
I've done it a couple times, so.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It looks like people are on mute, but anyone have any questions for these guys? No?
Are they, how many coaches, is everybody a coach that's on here?
I don't think so. No, we have some really new clients. Like Pam, you're only a couple weeks in, right? And wow, what a story. She shared last week, and oh my gosh, she's got 11 kids.
Wow.
She's awesome too.
Well,
And
I'll just add this too. For me, you know, I thought the benefits of being a coach, when I had time to do it, and I knew that it would cause me to be more committed, and also the compensation, you know, I don't sit and look at it and try to plan out my, you know, what if this, what if that. It's just like the executive director spot. I never anticipated that, but where I live, and I grew up in the city of Jackson, which is between Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee, if you've ever been in this area. And but where I grew up, I mean, I know so many people in our city, and been involved in sales and banking, and just, you know, grew up here. And so I have a lot of friends on Facebook. And when I learned that that's how you share your story, that, you know, it just, and Tim, you know, Tim lost 100+ pounds, and he's, you know, his story is he's sending people to his sister because he's a copier salesman. He's not in the business to do this. But it finally dawned on him after his sister encouraged him, you know, hey, you're getting all these, you're just sharing your stories, all you're doing. And then you're helping so many people get well and change their lives for everything that was mentioned tonight. And so just the fact that, you know, bringing in a few people helps pay for your fuelings, then it can grow into more. So, you know, for me, I had the time and I wanted to learn. I don't know, I'm so green at this, but, and you know, my mentorship group will tell you, I mean, it's question after question after question, and it just falls into place. So for me, it was the commitment of being accountable, knowing that coaching would help me to learn quicker. It would make me stay in the life book more. It would just cause me to get more excited about what I was doing. The results, I can't tell you how many. I mean, like I said, I've got about I've probably brought on about 19, 20 people. I have so far, thank goodness, nobody has dropped out, and they're all seeing great success. I mean, they're all losing weight. They're feeling better. 5 days later, they're sleeping at night. I mean, every story I hear is just nothing but positive. So, you know,
Yeah.
and with that being said, it's just the accountability, having the mentorship group, the tremendous amount of support that you get on Contending for Life and the sites and all the tools. It's just fun. It's just fun. And I'm excited about what's coming.
And
I'm
I
excited
just
too.
want to say, for me, it's kind of a flip of that, because I'm more interested in the inner journey that it provides than the food part. I mean, the food to me is like the bonus, but the inner journey of change, that's a lifetime of change in your thoughts and your thinking about yourself and about your family and everybody around you. It is, to me, the core treasure of this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, when I started, I came on as a coach, thinking that I needed to help all these people in the building that I worked at as their fitness person, and not even realizing that I'm probably the one that needed the help on the inside of my head more than anybody else that I was trying to help. I needed it more. And I found out as a coach, I was learning more and receiving more from all these clients, and learning more from all of our coach trainings and everything that I ever even could have imagined. I didn't even know I was making money. I forgot actually that I was making money. And I was just so happy to finally be making a difference in everyone's life, or being part of that, but actually really making a difference in my own life. And that's it. If we can take care of ourselves and take care of our own health first, I know it sounds stingy, but it is true. Put your oxygen mask on first before you put it on the person next to you, because if you can love yourself enough to take care of your own self, you're going to be able to take care of those people that you love even that much more. And coaching is where it's at, man. It's the cherry on top of everything. And I really appreciate Tim. Thank you so much for sharing Andy. I'm so glad that we're friends. I'm going to see him on the global stage next year. I know it. I'm going to be like, I know that guy up there. So good job, you guys. And thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see. We probably should end it. We try to keep it at 30 to 45 minutes. And we'll see all of you guys in Limitless in the morning at 7 a.m.
Bye, everybody.
Right?
Thank you.
And Andy, I want you to come share in Limitless one morning
Okay, that'd be great.
on
That'd
one of
be
the
great.
elements.
I'd be glad
Hi,
to.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
We love you,
you.
Carrie. Mwah.
Yeah, talk to you later.
See you
I guess-
tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.